Hi there. New Year is very close, but it doesn't really matter in what year you are watching this video because the message still remains. So, the end of the year is an excellent opportunity to reflect on the past year that you just had, and I strongly encourage you to do that. This entire year felt like an extensive devastation with a lot of setbacks, horrible things, losses, and so on. Well, no doubt we want to forget this as a bad dream. Yet this year may seem unproductive, uneventful in the shade of all these things. I felt this way, and honestly, I was really terrified to sit and write down everything that happened during the year, like achievements and stuff, because what could have been added there anyway, because the year was so uneventful and it was consisting of so many setbacks and stuff. But then I started reflecting over all the things that happened during the year, and to my surprise, it turned out to be quite the opposite of what I anticipated at first. So this year turned out to be not only productive for me, but much more successful in terms of quality of achievements than any other year that I had before. And I wouldn't even know that if I hadn't decided to spend some time writing down successes and achievements and stuff that I had during this year. So you see, sometimes we demote importance of achievements that we have over the year and we forget about that. There are like a few reasons why we don't really care that much about our accomplishments in the end, or we may not remember them. First of all, we tend to forget things. It is totally okay that we forget because we are literally inundated with so many information about everything and bad things as well. For example, COVID. So it takes a lot of time in our life and it takes a lot of space. So it's popping off different places like social medias, your friends, news, etc, etc. So we are literally consuming a lot of information about that, about politics, about things going on in the world. And we have plenty of events, and some of them are bad and memorable, and they kind of override our feelings and our thoughts about other things that we may actually find very important. Because your gym successes probably don't get repeated every day, while the COVID information, it pops off, as I said, from different sources every day. Our focus tends to slip away, and does it rapidly should you just stop reminding it about things. As I said, bad things keep reminded every day. Your raise at work half a year ago, how many times you reminded yourself about that? The second reason is that we start taking things for granted. For example, in the gym, so you push 90 kilos and yeah, that's a great thing. So you put a lot of work and effort to that thing. But in the end, it's just there. So you don't really treat it as an accomplishment. Or another example, so you get a new job and you really like it. So you work there for several months and you just take it for granted because it feels like it's been there all along. But actually, this is also a thing that you put a lot of effort to. And this is an accomplishment as well as any other thing. And a third reason, humans by nature tend to dwell on failures rather than on compliments. It's coming from the history because our ancestors were more likely to survive being negative words. So we keep being biased on negative points. And we find it very difficult to compliment ourselves. So, do you feel that this year was as bad? But did you try to reflect on it and think of positive parts of that? When it comes to me, what I prefer to do is to allocate some time by the end of the year, like a half an hour or an hour, and I just spend it composing a list of different achievements that I had during the year. So anything like smaller events and achievements, something that brings you joy and good emotions, something that makes you better, and so on. So off the top of your head, you may feel like, all right, so I'm not going to come up with many of them because the year was really uneventful and stuff. But it actually only seems that way when you start. So as you write down, more and more things come to your mind and you can actually reflect on your year and realize that actually that were a lot of events during the year, and you'll be prouder of yourself as you come up with more and more. We may not even realize the number and the scale of the events going on through the course of year because we don't reflect on them, because we simply don't remember. So, but if we do, you'll be surprised. Let me share a few examples of what I put into my list. For example, I noted that I started investing and I started growing my portfolio. And this is a very big step in my life, so I definitely decided to mark it down. I got into street photography and I spent a lot of time every week for that. So I spent it on taking photos, taking courses, reading, trying, experimenting and stuff. And this is also a pretty big step in my life, so it's something that I wanted to do for a while. Also, I spend a lot of time improving my workplace. So because it is very important for me as I work remotely to have a very productive setup that I have that will help me to be productive, and it literally brings me good emotions as I work there. I also started collecting my home books library, which is also a quite cool thing for me. Nevertheless, some things are much smaller and they may seem insignificant compared to others, but they are still there because even small things, they can be reflected. For example, I took 10 amazing portraits during the year. It's not much, but I started learning photography, and this is a progress and this is a success that I'm proud of. I made a few videos for social networks such as YouTube and Instagram. Not much, but it is a progress that I'm proud of. Another thing that I did is I cycled 200 kilometers. It's not the best though, but it's 200 more than nothing, and I know that next year I can do better. Last but not least, I drew 5 complete pictures for my side project. It's not much as well, but it's something that really brings me good emotions. Our year consists of big and not less important but smaller accomplishments. Yet small ones are often missed out. However, they also shape us. They make us us. It's time to talk about why it is important. First of all, it encourages you for future. Even in such unfortunate course of events like this year, we still can achieve, we still can set goals, we still can do things. If such a year brought you good things along, why the next one should be any worse, right? Second, when you track your accomplishments for the year, you write what you did rather than what you did not, and it boosts your motivation and productivity for future year, because as you realize that you are more successful than you thought an hour ago, it boosts you. Third, research shows that when we get compliments or praises by whatever side, whether it is initiated by us or externally, not it only boosts the motivation and productivity, but it also helps our brain to remember things better and reproduce skills easier. In other words, recognition helps us to learn. And finally, some minor setbacks can have a negative impact more significant than triumph of wins. However, as you keep a list of achievements, it can affirm the strength and valuable experience that you had next time when you experience rough experience. So it is a reminder that we can stay strong in the light of challenging events. As I said before, as we enter a new year, it's an excellent opportunity and time to recognize yourself and give you the credit that you deserve. To help you with that, I composed a list of tips that may help you to compose that list easier. So first of all, try to find a really quiet place and stay there isolated from the world a little bit for half an hour or an hour, and keep recalling the achievements of the year and keep writing them. Don't question if others will judge or affirm it or whatever. It doesn't matter, because this is all about you. So you should write there things that you feel accomplished for, that you feel positive, and that brings you good emotions and stuff. So try to write it down. Don't think about others at all. Also, do not exclude small things. They are also there to shape us. So as I said before as well, try to come up with as many things as possible. You'll be surprised by the end of the session how many things you have written down. After some time, like a day or a few hours or maybe a week later, try to come back to that list and think about it. Maybe you will come up with something else that you may add to that list, because the list is not a constant, right? So you can add up things there that you feel that are suitable there. And anyway, it's not possible to literally remember all the year achievements in a few hours, and so like, of course something will pop up later. I also recommend you to do that every year, and if you can, try to do that even more often. Of course, if you can keep your accomplishments and stuff during the year and write it down to your notebook or whatever, so that would be really, really good addition to that, because in the end, so you'll be able to compose everything in no time. So because you already have everything, so just need to sort things out. So if you do that, you will see that your life is not uneventful at all. So it has a lot of good things there. And this is what reflection is about. That was pretty much everything that I wanted to share in today's video. I hope this video will help you to stay motivated and encourage you to recognize yourself, how great you are. And I hope you an absolutely amazing next year. Stay productive, stay positive, and so long.